What is up, guys? It's Clint from Bartlett Outfitters. I'm coming to you with the third part of Hurricane Harvey series. Sorry it's taking me so long to get this edited. I've been trying to get some classwork done. I've been working on school. Been crazy. So basically at the end of the video I'm going to wrap up everything that happened. So like all the little details that weren't on video, I'm going to capture that. So basically just watch these clips. It's just going to be a short few clips of our second day in Vidor, Texas. And so watch through those clips and I'll explain what happened in those clips after the fact. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the support. Thank you. Just a quick thing about the GoFundMe. That GoFundMe page raised over $9,000. What we did was all of our travel expenses, so we kept receipts from our travel expenses, divvied it up last night in our BAS meeting. So everybody got paid back for all of their gas expenses. We still had over $5,000 left. So what we did was we took that $5,000, split it in half, gave half of it to Church of the Kings, which is a church that helped us out down there in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and then also Operation Never Stop. They've been a volunteer organization trying to help people and flood victims and stuff like that. So we met some awesome people, so we figured we needed to donate it back to them. So that's where that money went, if you guys were wondering. Thank you guys for watching and enjoy the video.
Alright guys, it's day number 2. We're rolling out.
Convoy going. Let's go get some people saved. You got it.
Alright guys, we've done all we can do in Vidor, so we are headed back to Lake Charles because they're letting the floodgates loose and we don't want to be caught in the middle of that stuff. So we're rolling out to Lake Charles. It'll probably be an hour or 2 depending on where the water is and how much water there is. So stay tuned.
Okay guys, so a little bit about this video. So the video starts out, we're at the Love's truck stop somewhere in Texas, not quite sure exactly where we were. We slept in our trucks that night, woke up, started listening to the radio and figured out where to go. So we went to Vidor, Texas. So it was like a 2-hour drive, made it to Vidor, Texas. So some of that was the trip to Vidor, and then we dropped our boats in and we were along this big highway. And so as we went up this highway in our boats, we picked up 2 guys they were in waders, and so we most of the people we were seeing were just in regular clothes. So these guys were in waders, so they seemed experienced. And then we come to find out, they hopped in our boat and they said that their boat battery died. They were volunteers out there trying to help people, and their boat battery died or got wet or something like that. And so we ended up taking them back to their truck. So we got separated from our group of people, so we were kind of on our own for a little bit. So we took them a couple miles down the road to their truck, dropped them off, and came back. And on our way back, there's another guy. He was in the video, actually, the guy in the red shirt. He needed to go to his truck to get his toolboxes, or check on his toolboxes or something, and then he had a guy on a tow truck coming to tow his truck for him. So we went and dropped him off at his truck, and then meanwhile our guys were corralling cattle, and they were corralling cattle for a farmer or something like that. So they got 10 cows out of there, and then so more of our drive back, saw a bunch of helicopters, a bunch of cool vehicles and stuff saving people along that road. And then we started to head back because we got word that the floodgates were going to be released in one of the lakes, and so it would have made that where we were at rise. So we had to get our trucks out of there, or else we couldn't. Our trucks would have been underwater, and that wouldn't have been good. So we started making our way back, and one of our guys on the team, Colby, said, "I got to turn around, Zach. There's a cat sitting on top of that hood, or on top of that truck." And so it was on the top of a full-size Chevy truck. Is on the very top, just surrounded by water. And so Colby ended up going to save that cat, and he gave it to an old lady on the bank or something like that. And so we got, so basically our total in the trip between those 2 days, I think it was something like 46 people, 10 cows, and a cat. So that's what we ended up doing between those 2 days. So we had headed back, and then we went back to Lake Charles and met up with the guys at Operation Never Stop and Church of the Kings, and worked in a warehouse. We helped them just organizing supplies and goods that were being shipped out to all the victims, and helped them with that. And we ended up staying that night. They were nice enough to bring us some food that night. We ate some Popeye's chicken for the first time. That was pretty good stuff. And we ended up staying on the concrete floor that night of the warehouse, but it was better than the truck because you weren't cramped up in the truck. So it was good to have a place to stay that night. And then woke up Friday morning and realized after talking around that the way the waters were moving, there was a lot that they were turning volunteers away. There was a lot we really couldn't do, and if we were to stay any longer, we could have done some bad. It wouldn't have been pretty sights for us to see, to put it that way. And so we ended up turning around and starting to make our way back to the mountains, back to North Carolina. So we ended up leaving around 11 a.m. on Friday, left at 11, and ended up, me and Austin got home at like 3:15 Saturday morning. So it was a long drive, but we ended up making it. We made it back safe. We did everything we could in Texas. After talking to some of the guys, they were being turned around, not being able to volunteer and stuff. So we did everything we could. We had great timing, because if we would have been there a day later, we wouldn't have got as much done. If we would have been there earlier, it could have been hectic and crazy with looters and all kinds of stuff like that. So we got there at the right time. We helped people, everyone we could, and we really enjoyed that experience. We were able to haul waters down, supplies, and then help the warehouse get their supplies shipped out. So we got a lot done in those few days. We totaled up to, we drove over 40 or 50 hours at least in those from Tuesday through Saturday, and then also who knows how much we spent in gas. But it was a great trip. It was a humbling experience. So everybody that's been asking me about it, this video basically sums it up. It was an awesome experience to be able to give back, and I'd want somebody to do it for me if my house was underwater. So thank you guys so much for staying tuned and watching this whole hurricane series. If you haven't seen the other two videos, this one probably doesn't make so much sense, so make sure you go back and check those out on my channel, the other videos. Almost to 200 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the weather this week. It should be pretty nice, and thank you for everything you guys do for me. So stay tuned and keep watching my videos. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.